Heisman Memorial Trophy.
The first soccer championship in school history is still Alabama.
Welcome to the Crimson Tide Production Studio inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. I'm Roger Hoover, pleased to be joined by Kenzie Hughes, and welcome to another episode of Tide TV this week. And for the first time in 2 weeks, welcome back, Kenzie.
I appreciate it, Roger. I know it's Thanksgiving season, so thankful to be back, and even more thankful to be here with you this week.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. And I heard it was a great game this past week, and because it was a beautiful day inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium on Saturday for the Alabama football's final home game of the year.
It was a beautiful day, and you couldn't have asked for a better outcome for the Crimson Tide. And before the ball game, Coach Saban and the university recognized 22 seniors. This senior class has had a great 4 years, compiling a 48-5 record that includes a pair of SEC championships and the 2020 College Football Playoff Championship.
And it didn't take long to see the Tide wasn't taking their opponent lightly as they came ready to play. Alabama totaled 574 yards of offense, and it all started with the first play of the game. Milroe connects with Jermaine Burton for 56 yards. Then a few plays later, Milroe connects with Burton again for the 5-yard score. The Crimson Tide had 5 rushing touchdowns from 4 different running backs, as Jalen Milroe had 3 passing touchdowns.
Crimson Tide special teams even got in on the scoring. Caleb Downs returned this punt for 85 yards for his first career touchdown and the 93rd non-offensive touchdown of the Nick Saban era at Alabama. It was the most points scored for the Crimson Tide since 2019 as the Tide rolled on Senior Day with a 66-10 win over Chattanooga.
You know, I was really pleased. I thought Jalen played really well in the game, starting out like 10 for 10 or something, and we made some explosive plays which were designed and practiced all week based on how they play and what they do. So it's always good to see when you practice something and then you go out and execute it in the game and it works out exactly like you planned, and some of those things did. Players did a good job of executing, and you know, Burton had a good day today with some big plays, and we got to play a lot of players, which I think is something that you know, a lot of these guys, man, they work hard all year long. They don't get a lot of positive self-gratification. Some of them don't even get to dress for games. We dressed everybody who was healthy today, I think 134 guys, and got to play a ton of guys. And always happy to be able to do that.
The win was the 10th on the year for the Crimson Tide, and that gives Alabama an NCAA record 16 consecutive 10-win seasons.
Great way to finish the regular season at Bryant-Denny Stadium for the Crimson Tide.
And there were also some great performances by former Alabama players in the NFL this past weekend, Roger. Let's take a look at our Crimson Tide and the NFL Players of the Week. Kicking it off, running back Brian Robinson Jr. had 131 all-purpose yards for the Washington Commanders, 73 on the ground, and 58 receiving yards on 7 catches.
Wide receiver Calvin Ridley caught 7 of his 9 targets for 103 and 2 scores in the Jacksonville Jaguars' 34-14 win over the Tennessee Titans.
And defensive back Jordan Battle led the Cincinnati Bengals defense with 12 total tackles, including 10 solo in their Thursday night matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. So those are our Crimson Tide in the NFL Players of the Week. And Roger, did you know that the Tide had 47 former players get playing time this week in the NFL?
That's pretty good.
Of that, 31 started, which is pretty incredible. I personally think that you just make a team of former Alabama players and be all right.
Yeah, I think so. I think they'd be pretty good too, Kenzie. The Tide had some pretty good players in action this week at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Let's go all access with the Crimson Tide for their 66-10 win over Chattanooga on Senior Day.
A bullet, touchdown Alabama. Jermaine Burton looks long. There's number 3. Jermaine Burton makes the grab.
He gets the carry straight up ahead, trying to push the pile. Waiting for the signal. Now the late touchdown signal.
On the give to Roydell, nothing up the middle. He kicks it to his left. He'll outrace everybody. He is in for the touchdown. It'll be a 10-yard run.
Don't let stop, baby. We got to finish the mission.
Gets the throw from the quarterback and dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Robbie Oots. Schomburg throws right side. Intercepted Christian Story with the interception. They fake the toss. Look wide open. Touchdown, Malik Benson. Simpson looks, Simpson throws, has a man wide open. He'll carry bodies with him. That's Slaw.
Justice Haynes is the running back, and he is in there for the touchdown. On return by Caleb Downs, and he finds the seam. He makes the punter look silly. Caleb Downs, show him what you got. Touchdown, Bama. Simpson flushed out to his left. He's going to try to pick it up with his legs. He does and more. Simpson crossing the 50, inside the 35, on his feet. No way! Gets the carry and he pushes his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Haynes bounces it to the outside. Touchdown, Bama. A 33-yard scamper on senior day. Alabama, they win it big.
Tide TV This Week is presented by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. Ford, visit your local Ford dealer, proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide.
What a scene at Coleman Coliseum.
Whoever shows up needs to be as loud as they can possibly be.
It is just as loud here at Coleman Coliseum tonight.
But Alabama able to battle and fight and dig down and show toughness and grit.
I thought that crowd was unbelievable.
I'm telling you, this place is rocking right now.
Alabama fans at Coleman Coliseum have been so good all year long. These fans deserve it.
Welcome back to Tide TV This Week. It's Rivalry Week, Roger, and you know what that means. It's Iron Bowl time, baby.
This year's game will be played down on the plains at Jordan-Hare Stadium. For a preview of the Iron Bowl, our Christopher England joins us now. Christopher?
It's the 88th edition of the Iron Bowl. It's the oldest series in Crimson Tide history, dating all the way back to 1893. Alabama owns the all-time series lead 49-37 and have been dominant as of late, winning 7 of the last 9, including 3 in a row. The last meeting took place in Bryant-Denny this past season. Alabama led by as many as 28 in the third quarter as the Tide rolled to their third straight victory over the Tigers, 49-27. The last time the two teams met in Jordan-Hare 2 years ago, it was an instant classic. Trailing 10-3 with just over a minute and a half to go, Bryce Young orchestrated a 97-yard drive to tie the game. And then with a score tied at 22 in the fourth overtime, Alabama was just too much. Kool-Aid McKinstry batted down the pass from T.J. Finley, and then going for the win, Bryce Young connected with John Mechie for the 2-point conversion and the 24-22 win. Hugh Freeze is in his first year leading the Auburn program. Last season, the Tigers finished 5-7 and didn't make a bowl game. In his first season as the Tigers head coach, Freeze already has Auburn bowl eligible at 6-5. The Tigers won 3 in a row to open the season, including a 14-10 win over Cal, but then hit a 4-game losing streak to open SEC play with losses to Texas A&M, Georgia, LSU, and Ole Miss. Sitting at 3-4, Freeze righted the ship with 3 conference wins capped by a 48-10 rout of Arkansas. But then Auburn was upset at home last week by New Mexico State. With the score tied at 7 in the second, the Aggies outscored the Tigers 24-3 the rest of the way. New Mexico State held Auburn to just 214 yards of total offense to hand Auburn their 5th loss of the season, 31-10. Auburn is 12th in the SEC in scoring offense at 27 points per game. The Tigers are also 10th in the league in total offense, but their strength has been the run game. Auburn is 3rd in the SEC and 21st nationally, averaging over 194 yards per game. Look for Auburn to try to establish the run with their leading rusher, Jarquez Hunter. Hunter is 6th in the SEC with 772 yards, averaging 77 per game. Second on the team in rushing is quarterback Peyton Thorne. The transfer from Michigan State has gained 609 yards on the season, while also passing for almost 1,600 yards with 14 touchdowns, but has thrown 7 interceptions. Auburn's leading receiver has been their tight end. Rivaldo Fairweather has 33 receptions on the year for 349 yards and 6 touchdowns. Defensively, Auburn is 4th in the SEC in scoring defense, allowing just over 21 points per game. And it's been tough scoring inside the 20 on the Tigers as they lead the SEC in red zone defense, allowing opponents to score just 77% of the time, forcing 5 turnovers in 38 attempts. The Tigers are also tied for the league lead in turnovers forced with 17, led by defensive back Jalen Simpson. He's second in the SEC with 4 interceptions on the year. Kickoff is scheduled for 2:30 down on the Plains. It will be the last Iron Bowl on CBS. Stay with us. We'll have more Tide TV this week coming up next.
The sellout crowd at Coleman Coliseum was not disappointed. What an unbelievable matchup.
Wow. All the work they've been putting in. Absolute great competitor. Just beautiful to watch from start to finish.
I am blown away. Practice is paying off, and she knows it. The 10s were contagious tonight. It's going to be a big number.
And sticks that landing.
Beautiful landing. Oh, my God.
What a moment for the Crimson Tide.
Welcome back to Tide TV This Week. It's a series that dates all the way back to 1893, the annual Iron Bowl between the in-state rivals, Alabama Crimson Tide and Auburn Tigers. There have been a lot of great moments between the Tide and Tigers throughout the years.
That there are, and let's take a look at some of our favorite moments in Iron Bowl history, including that last visit to Jordan-Hare for the Crimson Tide.
The deep back. The tiny weight is the deep back. Man in motion right. Here's Stabler, keeping himself. So now cuts in. He's at the 40-yard line. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He scores. Kenny Stabler takes it in.
The game is over. The man has made history. 315 wins.
As I said at the top of the show, and I want to say it again, that all of us of the coaching profession that are of this era believe in that man, believe that he is the best coach of our time, if not the greatest coach of all time.
To go for the touchdown. So the critical play of the game right here. On 4th down and goal. It's Fullwood, and he is stopped. And will they talk about that play for years? With 3:27 to go in the game, Rory Turner ran him out of bounds, and that will be forever ingrained in the lore of this rivalry.
There is the snap, the kick. It is in the air. It has fisted. It's good! It's good! It's good! It's good! It's good! It's good! Van Tiffin has won the ball game. Alabama has beaten Auburn. Van Tiffin has kicked a 52-yard field goal, and the state of Alabama is crimson.
The pressure just etched on the faces of everybody watching. Kitchens gets the snap, throws left, Riddle makes the grab 5, angles by 3, 2, 1, touchdown! 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 With 26 seconds to go, this Iron Bowl is tied at 23.
They got the big fella in the backfield. They're going to play action on the rollout. McElroy, touchdown Upchurch! Alabama's first win at Auburn since 2001.
Rice gets the snap, knee high, looks, throws the fade route, near side end zone, got it! Oh, touchdown Alabama! Caught by Ja'Cory Brooks in the end zone. In the shotgun, gets the snap, backpedals, looks left, throws, touchdown! 2-point conversion, and Alabama wins. John Mechie on the grab, and Alabama has come from nowhere to defeat the Auburn Tigers in multiple overtimes. 24-22, the Crimson Tide wins the Iron Bowl of 2021.
Active hands again. Sarah Ashley Barker can't be stopped.
You gotta love to see it, the energy. The game is out of reach, but it's not out of reach for Sarah Ashley Barker as she's able to get into the passing lane.
Legacies rise from purpose. They're developed through passion, determination, and the power to follow through. This is where ambition meets opportunity. What happens next is up to you. The University of Alabama, where legends are made.
Welcome back to the Crimson Tide Productions studio right here inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium. He is Roger Hoover. I am Kinsey Hughes, and this is TideTV This Week.
The Alabama soccer team has competed in the NCAA tournament now 3 consecutive seasons. After defeating Western North Carolina 2-0 here in Tuscaloosa in round 1, it was on to the second round for the Tide.
Playing in Lubbock, Texas, the soccer team traveled to compete in the second round of the NCAA tournament, facing third-seeded North Carolina for the second time this season. The Tar Heels set the tone early with a goal in the 19th minute. Despite a career-high 8 saves from keeper Coralie Lallier, the Tide fell 1-0, ending yet another incredible season for Coach Hart and company.
Congratulations to Coach Hart and the entire program on yet another season that will go down in the record books. I think it's safe to say that Coach Hart might have a few more of those coming up in the next few years.
Oh, most definitely, Roger. But we know all too well that as the door on soccer season closes, another flies wide open with basketball season starting to pick up.
Absolutely. The 22nd ranked men's basketball team took on Mercer last Friday at home. After starting the game hitting 14 of 16 shots from the field, the Tide went into the locker room with a field goal percentage of 79%. Mark Sears put up 19 of his 26 total points to give the Tide a 56-29 lead before the break.
In the second half, the Tide added to the lead with double-digit scoring from Nick Pringle, Jaron Stevenson, and Aaron Estrada. At the final buzzer, the Tide had defeated the Bears 98-67.
It was a great win for the Tide, who are looking to keep the momentum with a difficult stretch of games coming up, including an ACC-SEC Challenge game at home this coming Tuesday.
That's right, and a huge part of this momentum is graduate transfer Aaron Estrada, averaging 15 points a game. Needless to say, Aaron's been a dynamic addition to Coach Oates' roster.
It's funny, when I first entered the transfer portal, Coach Oates was the first coach to call me. He was the very first coach to call me. Really from there, like the first time I got on a phone call with him, like he made me feel like I was a priority, you know, and I really appreciated that. He let me know, and he just stressed to me a lot how I could, you know, help the program, how I could come here and just be a part of a winning culture. My family and myself, we were just all so like comfortable. Like they just brought us in with open arms. Like I felt like I already committed when I came here. Like I felt like I was already on the team. I already been here. But that's just how they made me feel. And like I said, that's really important to me. Like, I want to be somewhere where I'm gonna be comfortable. And I felt most comfortable here. And then too, like they're all just good guys, you know, to be around. Like it's no like no envy. Nobody doesn't like anybody. Like. Everybody's cool, and this is probably one of the closest teams I ever been on. Like regardless of how long we knew each other, even though I didn't know these guys for that long, like we really grew a strong bond, I feel like, already.
Keeping the focus on Tide Hoops, the undefeated Alabama women's basketball team traveled to Arkansas last week to take on Little Rock. Crimson Tide was led by Sarah Ashley Barker with 15 points and 7 rebounds in the 63-39 win.
Alabama never trailed in the contest and ended the game with 3 starters cashing in double-digit scoring outings. The win marks the first time the women's basketball team has started a season 5-0 since 2020.
The volleyball team traveled to Athens to take on Georgia this weekend. After battling back from a 5-0 deficit in set 1, the Bulldogs ended up claiming the victory 25-23.
A bit of momentum swung the Tide's way in sets 2 and 3, but ultimately Georgia would retake the lead each time and the Tide would go down in 3 sets.
Newly titled All-American cross-country athletes Doris Lemon-Gole and Hilda Olomomoy have a lot to be thankful for this Thanksgiving week, as they led the Tide to the second straight top 10 finish in 2 years after competing at the NCAA championships.
Lemon-Gole ended her first NCAA championship race as runner-up, while Olomomoy logged a top 4 finish for the Crimson Tide.
Both men's and women's swim and dive teams finished in 3rd place at the Tennessee Invitational. A 22nd ranked men's 400 freestyle relay team shattered a school record with a time of 2:47.95.
Charlie Hawk became the first Crimson Tide swimmer to break 4:13 in the 500-yard freestyle. Hawk's time is also the fastest in the nation this year.
We have a lot more to come on this week's show, including our plays and players of the week. We'll have those next, right here on TideTV This Week.
Tide TV This Week is presented by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. Ford, visit your local Ford dealer, proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide.
What a scene in Coleman Coliseum.
Whoever shows up needs to be as loud as they can possibly be.
It is just as loud here at Coleman Coliseum tonight.
But Alabama able to battle and fight and dig down and show toughness and grit.
I thought the crowd was unbelievable.
I'm telling you, this place is rocking right now.
Alabama fans at Coleman Coliseum have been so good all year long. These fans deserve it.
The sellout crowd at Coleman Coliseum was not disappointed. What an unbelievable matchup.
Wow. All the work they've been putting in. Absolute great competitor. Just beautiful to watch from start to finish.
I am blown away. Practice is paying off, and she knows it. The 10s were contagious tonight. It's going to be a big number.
And sticks that landing.
Beautiful landing. Oh, my God.
What a moment for the Crimson Tide. Sears looking for Pringle, and he's fouled. Numbers. Pringle! Looking for Pringle! Whoa! Wow! Looking for a deep shot of the opening play. That's complete. Jermaine Burton. Alabama starts it off with a bomb. Christian Story with the interception for Alabama. Caleb Downs, and he finds the seam. He makes the punter look silly. Caleb Downs, show him what you got. Touchdown, Bama.
Roll Tide. Those are some pretty exciting plays of the week, Roger.
Always love our Legacy of Hope plays of the week. Now let's take a look at our players of the week. We go from the gridiron freshman defensive back Caleb Downs. He had 7 tackles and 1 pass breakup while helping the Tide limit the Mocs to only 107 total passing yards. His big play came on special teams. Downs stepped in at punt returner and found the end zone with an 85-yard punt return, his first career touchdown for the Crimson Tide.
Doris Lehman-Gole completed her freshman campaign as runner-up at the NCAA Championships this past week after clocking a 19.05.7. The second-place finish propelled the women to a 7th place overall, giving them 2 top 10 finishes in the past 2 years.
So congratulations to all of our players of the week, as it's going to be a special week here in Tuscaloosa.
It is. It was a very exciting week last week, and we're excited for a rivalry week always, and I can't wait to talk about it with you next week.
Absolutely. We hope you had a great Thanksgiving week, everyone. We hope to see you back here for another edition of Tide TV This Week. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
This has been a presentation from Learfield,